Check, check. Thank you very much. Oh, where are we at? Are we still going around? Hey, 41. 41. Do it again. On tenor sax.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a brief announcement. As due to indoor regulations for the state of Arizona, we ask that everyone please keep their masks on for the duration of the time here in the theater, so we can continue to be open for events like this. Thank you so much.
Check, check, check. Jace, you up there? I'll go ahead and control it from the button. So we got these guys on and off, okay? Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right. What's next?
Good evening, everyone. As everybody's still coming in, how about we hear one more from the jazz band? You guys got it in you? One more? Yeah.
Hey. Hi, good evening. My name is John Davenport. I'm the band director here at Queen Creek High School, and you're listening to our Jazz 1. We have 2 jazz groups, 2 jazz ensembles that meet second semester 0 hour. It's an audition entry group for both groups. Auditions happen in December, and we place the 2 groups. Why is it second semester only? Because 0 hour in the fall semester is our award-winning marching band. So that's all going on. This is a great opportunity for students to be able to do what I call the trifecta of band. They can do marching band in the fall. They can audition and get into jazz band in the spring if it's one of the traditional jazz instruments. Even though our Jazz 2 group, we still use it kind of as a lab. And we've got a flute player, some clarinets in there right now that are just trying to learn concepts of jazz. And then if they wish to audition up into the Jazz 1 and take a shot at it, they'll be able to switch instruments into the traditional roles of doubling on saxophones if they're a flute player, as a wooden player and whatnot. And our Jazz 2 ensemble, by the way, is directed by our very own Mr. Newt Wilson, who's playing with us in the back there. He is the band director at Newell Barney Junior High School. Some of you may recognize him. And beyond that, we also have our concert band program. We have 2 concert bands in there, a symphonic band or chamber wind ensemble. Chamber winds is an audition entry group. I'll be going around to the junior high schools and auditioning students for that particular group and entry into the symphonic band program. We also have our winter line programs, which are activities that meet in the second semester. Auditions for those are at the end of right after marching band. There's a lot going on in the band world. You know what? You got questions? You want to find out more? We've got a band table over in the cafeteria. Love to chat with you after we get done performing. Welcome to Queen Creek, guys. We're going to play one more for you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Davenport and Jazz Band. At this time, if all of you could please stand for the presentation of colors by our junior ROTC and our national anthem sung by senior Jasmine Gade.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right, face, forward, up.
Ladies and gentlemen, while you're standing at this time, we need to seat the people in the back of the theater. If you could please be so kind as to scoot in. If you're standing up, only put 2 seats between you. And then that way we can seat some of these people in the back. If you guys don't mind over here scooting over into these ends, and then we can seat some more people so that everybody can see this wonderful presentation. Thanks so much.
So good evening. My name is Julie Oster. I'm the principal of Queen Creek High School. I just want to thank you first and foremost for being so flexible. I know we have a couple starting times, and we're trying to do our best to accommodate everybody and maintain, social distancing as much as we can. And what was presented before, if we could just remember to keep our masks on and respect everybody's space, I would so appreciate it. So I would like to welcome all of you to incoming freshman parent night. Tonight, my goal is to introduce our amazing school. This is my 20th year, actually 21st year of being at Queen Creek High School. And next year, I'm going to actually have my second child go through Queen Creek High School. So as you can imagine, Queen Creek is one of my favorite things to talk about. I would also like to showcase our programs, our curricular and extracurricular, and walk you through what the next couple months are going to look like as you make that transition from junior high to the high school. Now, like I said before, I love to talk about Queen Creek High School and our programs and some of the opportunities that they afford our kids. But I have a special guest here to help me do that. And she might look familiar to some of you because we have a giant banner hanging off the front of our school with her picture on it. So at this time, I would like to welcome Jackie Casada to the stage. And I'd like her to share her experiences that she's had at Queen Creek High School, the programs that she has been involved with, and the opportunities that it's afforded her.
Hello, like Ms. Oster said, my name is Jackie Quesada, and I am a senior here at Queen Creek High School. So when I was reflecting back on what I was going to speak about you all today, I realized that there are two things I wanted to talk to you about. But first, I want to let you guys know a little bit more about me, so you guys know I am credible to be sharing this information about high school with you. So I am a 4-year DECA member and marketing student. I am an international DECA competitor, and I will be attending the University of Arizona on a good chunk of my tuition paid through the Wildcat Excellence Scholarship, and I will be attending the Eller College of Management to study business economics. So now that you know a little bit more about me, and that I am credible to speak to you guys today about what high school is and how you can make the most out of the experience, I realize that there are two things. So high school, it can be good, or it can be great, exceptional, or memorable. So my first thing is get involved. Whether that's an extracurricular, joining a sports team, a club, get involved. Join after school, go on field trips, come in before school, but do something that you're passionate about and that it's not gonna feel like work going to, and for me, that was DECA. I joined marketing my freshman year because both of my parents are amazing business people, and I just wanted to see what they did. And taking it for 2 years and getting an econ credit was also a really good added bonus. And so through marketing, I found this amazing organization called DECA, and in DECA, I found my passion for community service, which is actually my role on the state officer team now. So that decision that I made freshman year has stuck with me to who I am today. And the second thing is your school. Good grades, keeping those good grades. You may hear people tell you freshman year doesn't matter. It does matter. The grades you get, the people you meet, the people you talk to do matter, because decisions I made freshman year have impacted where I am today, and that I was able to tell you guys all those things about me earlier. So get those good grades, and that's all about working hard. The best you can do is all you can do. But if you don't reach that best, then you're not working the hardest you possibly can. So if I hadn't worked my hardest my freshman year, I wouldn't have a good chunk of my tuition covered for me right now, and I'd be scrambling my senior year when I'm supposed to be enjoying life and having fun. So when you put those two things together, that makes your high school experience go from good to great, amazing, memorable. Because I decided that I wasn't gonna stay from school from 7:30 to when it got out at 2:15. Sure, I made some good memories with friends and hanging out and going to lunch, but it's what I did after school that mattered, before school, on field trips. That's what made me think, you know, I went to Atlanta, I went to Florida, I was able to travel and meet new people and be in amazing positions. And so when I look back on high school, you know, I'll remember I had some fun with my friends at lunch, but it will be so important and imperative and memorable to me that I did those things. I traveled to Atlanta at 15 years old and competed. And that might not be the case for everybody, but you should be able to look back on your high school experience and have one memorable thing that you look back on and that shaped you to who you are today. Because these 4 years are gonna these 4 years are gonna fly by, and they're gonna shape you to the person you are today. So take one piece of advice. The decisions that you make freshman year are going to follow you to senior year. Make them good decisions, make them fun, and have a great night. Thank you guys all so much.
She's pretty amazing, right? So thank you, Jackie. So just to review tonight's goals, if we could go to the next slide here. I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about Queen Creek High School and share some of the programs that we have. We're gonna break down the registration process. Again, what is it gonna look like in the next few weeks, next few months as you make this transition? And then the most fun part is you get to go to the cafeteria after we're done here, and you get to meet some of our teachers and our coaches and learn more about some of the extracurricular and sports programs, our curricular programs, our clubs that you might want to participate in next year. Next slide. So the Queen Creek Unified School District has 5 priority areas. And tonight we're focused primarily on the priority area of student success. And so I want to break it down, you guys. I know we're going to go over a lot of information, and some of you already have kind of like that panic look. Like Jackie said, these 4 years are going to fly by. I promise you, though, that we're going to be here to support you the entire time, so don't stress about it. The first piece of support is this folder right here. So if you have an 8th grader at one of our junior highs within the district, your 8th grader should have come home with this folder. If you don't have an 8th grader at one of our junior highs, that's okay. We have these extra folders available in the lobby area. If you are more comfortable, we actually have a QR code. And if you scan your phone to this QR code, all of the resources that are in this folder are digitally, will come up on your phone. So those are the two options that you have. After this presentation, we're actually going to be sending out a follow-up email, and it's going to include the QR code for these materials. It's also going to include the course catalog and all of the additional resources that we're going to reference here tonight. If you have any questions, we will have our counseling department posted up at one of the tables in the cafeteria. So as we're presenting, if you think of a question, go ahead and write it down, and that way you can ask them as you make your way to the cafeteria. So speaking of the counseling department, I would like to put faces with names. If we can go to the next slide, there we go. So just to start it off, we have our counseling department broken up into 4 counselors that are broken up by last names. And so if you have the last name that starts from A to D, your counselor is Patrick Letty. If he can wave here. Where's Mr. Letty here? So, oh, no, he's back there. Hi, Mr. Letty. Thank you, Mr. Letty. So again, A through D, last name, you are going to be with Mr. Letty. Last names E through K, you are actually going to be with Miss Bird, and she's right over there on the side. Last names L through P is actually going to be Mr. Harmon, and he is out of the office until after spring break, but in the meantime, you can send all of your questions to Miss Rebold, who's actually back here. And she is also our counseling department chair, and she is normally in charge of all of the students with the last names Q through Z. So temporarily, she's going to be representing the L through the Z. In addition to our 4 certified counselors, we actually have a social worker on site, and that's Miss Sylvester. I believe that she is over in the cafeteria. We also have a school psychologist, Mr. Siriani, who is also in the cafeteria, if you'd like to ask them any questions. And we also have 3 college and career advisors. We have Mrs. Price, Mr. Alexander, and Mr. Peterson. And Mrs. Price, and they're actually in the cafeteria as well, and Mrs. Price oversees the College and Career Center, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a little bit later. So the next group of individuals I'd like to introduce you to is the administration team, and we have them sitting down there. Like I said, my name is Julie Oster. I'm the principal. In addition to myself, we also have Assistant Principal Jennifer Ray, right over there. We have Assistant Principal and Athletic Director Renee Rigoli. We have Assistant Principal Jim Richardson. And we have our Dean of Students, Tara Bernier, and Assistant Principal Katrina Gruss. So throughout your 4 years at Queen Creek High School, we encourage you to investigate your natural abilities, talents, and interests by signing up for challenging courses and participating in clubs and or sports that will drive you closer to your post-secondary goals. And those are the goals that you might be setting for yourself that are going to take place after high school. And as you can see from our list here, we have something for everyone at QCHS. And what's cool is we have a lot of teachers that are very open. If you have a club that you are interested in starting that's not on our list already, if you find a teacher that's willing to be an advisor, we're happy to add that to you, to our list as well. In addition to all of these options, we have a fine arts program that is very competitive. We actually had our theater department put on Almost Maine. I don't know if any of you were able to make it out to that. And they're currently working on Newsies, which will be put out in about another month. And most recently, we had junior Bailey Kane. She was recently recognized as one of the top 4 trombonists in the state of Arizona. And she is actually featured in the latest edition of the Talk Soup, which is our special edition with our superintendent, Dr. Barry, where he highlights students and programs throughout the district. So you might want to check that out. In addition to fine arts, we have our CTE programs, which are the career and technical education courses. And the neat thing about a lot of these courses is many of them are attached to internships and clinical placements depending on the program. An example of this could be seen in the Medical Professions 2 class, where the students actually have the ability to sit for their state boards for the CNA test by the end of the school year, which is an amazing opportunity to walk away from high school with. So in addition to very competitive curricular offerings, QCHS is also home to some of the most competitive athletic programs in the state of Arizona. We are members of the Arizona Interscholastic Association and participate in the 6A Fiesta region. We offer 24 varsity sports, as well as esports and junior ROTC, which is also competing through the AIA. As I mentioned before, if we can skip the next one here, to ensure every single student is prepared for life after high school, we have every single one of our students has full access to the College and Career Center and a specialized coordinator, Mrs. Price, who actually brings in a variety of guest speakers straight from the workforce. We have college financial advisors. We have representatives from trade schools and universities all over the country. And a testament to all of the hard work and the support that goes into the counseling program along with the college and career advisors is last year, the class of 2020, even with all the craziness going on, still walked away with over $21 million in scholarships. So it's pretty impressive. At this time, I would like to welcome our counseling department chair, Rachel Riebold, up to the mic here, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about graduation requirements and the registration process.
Hi, good evening, everybody. You can go ahead to the next slide. So how many students do we have in here that were running with the Bulldogs? Okay, quite a few of you. I'm glad to see you guys back. So we do have some requirements as far as graduation is concerned here at the high school. If you see on the left-hand side, it goes over how many credits are needed in each category. And then on your right-hand side, sorry, I'm looking at this differently, is going to go over the Arizona requirements. One thing I do want to point out to you guys, though, as you can see, we need 4 credits of an English, a math, 3 for a science and a social studies. You will need a PE credit as well. You will have a fine art or a practical art. One thing I do want you guys to consider, though, for those of you that may be planning on going out of state, because I can tell you when we did Running with the Bulldogs, a lot of students were ready to leave the state of Arizona to go to college somewhere else. So if that is the case, I do encourage you to please make sure that you consider taking a fine art, a true fine art. So some of the stuff that you saw up here would be like your theater programs, art, ceramics, anything that's similar to those areas, okay? And then, of course, you'll need 6 electives as far as those are like your general electives. And then for world language, it is not a requirement for graduation here, but it is highly encouraged, especially if you do plan on going to a 4-year university after high school. Next slide, please. So this is kind of how things are broken down for you guys. We actually go through semesters. So we have our first semester that starts in July once school starts, and it runs all the way until our winter break, so it's the end of December. And then we start our second semester starting in January. That'll run all the way through May. So you can see up here kind of how that works. Most students are going to take 6 class periods a day. We do have some students that do seminary, and if that is the case, you'll have 5 class periods a day, but you will be deficient in 2 credits, so it's going to be important to make sure that we figure out how we're going to make those credits up, whether it be online classes or 0 hour. There's a lot of different options, so if you guys have questions about that, please stop down by our counseling table over in the cafeteria, and then we can answer those questions for you. We will also have something that looks like a high school transcript, so if you can go on to the next slide. This will give you an example of what a high school transcript would look like. So now everything that your students, your child, our students, will be taking in high school is going to be placed on your child's transcript. So every single class It is credit earning, aside from achievement hour, will actually be listed on there, and you will see the credits on there. So this is a good breakdown. So whenever you do start seeing the transcripts, which you'll see a few times over the years, this will break everything down for you. You'll see that students will earn up to the 6 classes in the very top there, that first semester, so it shows you all of the grades right there and the credits it earned. So they'll typically earn 3 credits per semester, which will end up being 6 credits by the time they finish that first year. So most students will graduate with 24 credits by the time they finish high school. Some more, just depending on, if you have marching band and that kind of stuff in there too. Next slide, please. So we have a lot of different options that you guys can look forward to whenever it's time for your child to graduate. One of those is our Scholastic Diploma. So this is more of a STEM-based diploma, so those that are highly involved in science, I really encourage you to look into this. This is where you have to do at least 24 credits, 2 years of a world language, and then 4 science credits. If you recall on the other slide, it's only required that you actually have 3 science credits, but those that are interested in getting the Scholastic Diploma, you want to look at doing 4, okay? And then the Career Research Project is already done in your senior English class. Next slide, please. We also have several honorary seals now, which we're excited. 2 of those are brand new to us this coming year. So we have the Arts Proficiency Seal, and if you got that packet today, your child should have got it at their junior high, or those of you that are coming new to us will have the packets in there. It'll break down each of these seals, but we have the Art Proficiency Seal, the QC USD Service Learning Honor of Excellence Seal, which is a brand new one, and also the Arizona Seal of Bioliteracy. Okay, next slide. So the registration process, we started out with our Running with the Bulldogs, and then most of you should have got the registration forms in the packets today. What is going to be important, though, that you have those forms completed in their entirety, because we'll actually be going to the junior highs on the 8th or the 9th, depending on which school you're at, okay? And please make sure that you guys sit down and review them. We want to make sure that we're registering for the right classes, okay? Next slide. So here is going to go over the registration and the career pathways. So some of your children may already know what they want to do after high school. If that is the case, the great thing about it is we actually have this located in our course catalog, so it is available online. What this does, it'll break down the classes to kind of help them in whatever field they're looking for. So for example, if they're interested in graphic design, you'll see the particular pathway that will lead them to those classes that's going to get them that certification whenever they graduate. So not only did Ms. Oster mention about the CTE courses, not only will they graduate with a diploma, but they'll also graduate with an additional certification as well. Okay, next slide. So 0 hour. So those of you that are in marching band, that does start at 0 hours, so it's 6:30 in the morning. One thing I would make sure that you understand that we don't have transportation at that time. So if you are taking a 0 hour class, that will be your responsibility to make sure that your child gets here on time. Usually our upperclassmen, juniors and seniors will take a 0 hour if they need it, especially if somebody's thinking about potentially doing EVIT. So if that is the case, that's usually when those kids will take those, and those are core classes. We don't really offer electives at 0 hour unless it's like cheer. Next slide. We also have our honors classes. So the main thing is looking at it now that you're at the high school, we have a lot of options for you. We have AP courses, we've got dual enrollment courses. All of these are going to help your child once they are ready to go into college. So the scores that they get on their AP exam can be used towards college credits. They could do dual enrollment, so not only are they taking a class here, but then they're also getting college credit at the same time. So it's just getting them that much further to where they want to go and closer to those next steps for their post-secondary education. And of course, knowing that they take these higher level classes, it does prepare them for the college level classes. They are rigorous, and it does, studies have shown that it actually helps them get and achieve and be able to stay in classes further in college. Next slide. So helpful tips. One of them is, of course, make sure that you have the moment to look through all the wonderful information that we have in those packets. Also, we have our course catalog that is located right on our website. If you do not have student view and parent view, I highly encourage to make sure you reach out to the junior high so that way you do have it. For those students that are going to be new to us, please just give us we'll make sure that you get that information over the summer so you can check your schedules, okay? Schedules will be released about a week before school starts. And then if by chance we end up missing you on the day that we come to your school to do registration, please just make sure that we have those forms by the 16th. You could either drop them off at the junior high, you could drop them off here at the front office, or you can email them to one of us counselors and we'll gladly accept them. Next slide. All right, so I am going to introduce Mr. Payne, who is our amazing Link Crew leader. Sorry.
As Mr. Payne's walking up here, I just want to say a quick blurb here. So many of you might have heard Bulldogs Rising in some of the slogans that you might have seen on papers and on some of the social media sites. And this is actually a slogan that our student council came up with a couple years ago. And the whole purpose was to encourage all of our Bulldogs here to not only maximize their own potential, but then to build others up as well. And so everybody is able to have an amazing experience here. Robert Ingersoll once said, we rise by lifting others. And honestly, I can't imagine a better example of this than our Link Crew that we have here on our campus. And if you participated in Running with the Big Dogs, you probably had an amazing experience with our Link Crew leaders. And they are phenomenal, and it is due to our phenomenal Link Crew leader, Mr. Payne.
Hi, guys. This is really weird. Standing here at a pulpit, I'm not liking it too much. As a teacher, I like to wander around and, cause trouble as much as the kids cause trouble in class, too. So, how many of you guys have heard of Link Crew before? Okay, I saw a lot of you guys last week, right, at Running with the Big Dogs. All right, we had a blast. Link Crew is an amazing program, guys, and I'm fortunate to be able to be around a group of about 100 to 105 juniors and seniors, okay? And you guys are going to be recipients of some amazing people, all right? So what Link Crew does, guys, is they are juniors and seniors that will be assigned to every freshman on campus, all right? Their job is to be your mentor for the entire freshman year. And that's a cool thing because, there are a lot of times when incoming freshmen or sophomores, they come to high school and, we see them all the time. They come to orientation, right? And some of you guys have probably seen that with, mom walking right alongside with their freshmen going, where do we go and how do we get here? My kids will take care of that, okay? On July 14th this year, we're going to have freshman orientation. Now, I know I talked to a bunch of these kids at Running with the Big Dogs, and I said, guys, you need to come to freshman orientation. Now, this is not what you guys just did at Running Big Dogs, and it's not what we're doing right now. And Miss Riebold, she's absolutely amazing, but I hate to say no counselors at this one. Okay? We're going to have fun.
We won't bore you.
Guys, we're going to have a blast, and the whole purpose of freshman orientation is it's the Wednesday before we start school. And we want these kids to come to school, to get in with a group of kids at high school for the first time, because we know that most of these kids have friends at junior high, right? We're going to try to get you introduced to a group of friends here. Being led by some of the best juniors and seniors on campus. And we're going to do activities. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff here on campus that day. It's from 8 o'clock to noon. Moms and dads, bring your freshmen, drop them off. We'll take care of them for the entire day. At noon, you come and pick them back up again. But for the rest of the year, we're going to be there for you. Okay, so the Link Crew kids have a mandate that they reach out to their freshmen one time every week. Now, it might be running you down in the hallway. It might be making a phone call. It might be a quick text message. But they will reach out to you. Now, just a really fast story, and then I'll get off so you guys can go meet some of the cool teachers out in the other building. But here's the deal. About 3 years ago, we had a little girl. She was 13, freshman. Ended up with a bunch of older kids and went to a party. Didn't want to be there, so she tried to call her mom. Mom didn't answer. Her dad was at work, so she called her link leader. This was over homecoming weekend. Her link leader, she called and she said, "Tony, can you please come and save me and pick me up and take me home?" Tony jumped in the car, ran and picked her up. They went to IHOP, went home. This girl is a senior this year. They're best friends still. Tony is now at NAU, she's about ready to graduate at NAU. They still text every week. That's what Link Crew does, okay? Sometimes freshmen don't want to talk to adults. Sometimes it takes a kid to talk to a kid for the appropriate help to come. And that's what we do, okay? So it's an exciting program, and we are here 100% for these guys. I'll have some of you guys in class, and if I don't, you're gonna see me on July 14th. It's really embarrassing because I have to sing and I'm terrible, all right? But we're gonna have a blast, and next year's gonna be an amazing year at Queen Creek, right? Okay, wait a minute. I have to say this again. Hey, you guys, I said this the other day. You guys are boring, okay? We're going to have a blast next year at Queen Creek, right? Okay. Okay, we'll see you guys July 14th. Be there. Also, moms and dads, if you have a link leader that calls you up a couple days before July 14th asking to talk to your freshman, don't say, why are you calling my kid? Okay? They're going to call and invite you to that orientation personally. If you don't get a phone call, you call me, call the school. I will make sure it's taken care of because we're going to assign someone to everybody. All right? Okay, you guys have an amazing night, and if you have any questions, I'll have kids out there to answer any of those questions for you, okay? Thanks for the time.
And if you notice the shirt that Mr. Payne is wearing, the Link Crew leaders have that same shirt on, so that's how you know that they are a Link Crew leader and available for questions. That's actually what they came here tonight to help you with. So if your child does not currently attend one of our Queen Creek junior highs, you can actually take a picture or write down this bit.ly that's up here. And if you fill out the form that this bit.ly takes you to, it asks you for your name and email address. And that will help us get this information to you. Because again, we only have the email addresses of the students that are current Queen Creek Unified students. So if you are not a Queen Creek Unified student, please make sure that you get this information down so we can get the information out to all of you. So thank you again for coming out this evening. We are so incredibly excited to welcome the class of 2025. And like Jackie said, and Rick said, and with these next 4 years are gonna fly by. So enjoy them, get involved, and know that we are here. You have a community of people here to support you through this entire process. And so at this time, as you make your way to the cafeteria, you're gonna meet some of that community right over there as they are sharing about their different clubs and their athletics and their classes. So again, you guys, thank you again for coming out and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you come in, please make sure that you keep 2 seats in between each party, and please keep your masks on due to Arizona regulations. Thank you.
Can you do the same thing again? Kind of go all the way up until 6:15, and then can you guys want to hear one more? Let's do the like we did the last set. Okay, cool.
I felt like that one.
Okay, great. That's what we'll time it.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to come in, we ask that you please keep 2 seats between each party. And if you could please scoot in so that there are only 2 seats, we are expecting that more people will show up closer to the beginning. We also ask that according to Arizona regulations for the indoor theater, that you please keep your masks on the whole time inside of the theater. Thank you so much.
Hi. Good evening. My name is John Davenport. I'm the band director here at Queen Creek High School. Welcome to our Rising Freshman Night. We're so very excited to have you guys here with us. On stage is our top jazz ensemble, our Jazz One. Give it up for those guys. They're happy to be here tonight for you guys as well. We have two jazz ensembles. Our jazz ensembles meet second semester 0 hours, so 6:30 in the morning. They are audition entry groups. You need to be in the concert band program to be eligible to audition for said jazz bands. Why are they second semester only? Why can't they be full year? That would be great. However, in the fall semester, 0 hour is our award-winning marching band. Oh yeah, that's right. Football game. Yeah. So you've got the marching band possibility there for 0 hour in the fall. You got the jazz band auditions into for in the spring 0 hour, and then you can have an elective. So this is what I call the trifecta for band. You can have all three opportunities of the band program and then the concert band program during the day, and only burn one elective. What? Yes. This is really cool. So Queen Creek's got this set up really well here. So if you're a band person, you're thinking about a band person, you're interested, give me more information. Can I do color guard? I'm not really a music person, but I want to be part of the band. Yes, color guard, we can do that. We can get you, you want to find out more, talk to us at the tables over there. I got boosters over there. We'd love to give you some information, fill you in a little bit more with that. Cool. Welcome to Queen Creek, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Davenport. Can we give one more round of applause for our amazing jazz band? So at this time, if everybody could please stand for the presentation of the colors by our Queen Creek Junior ROTC and the national anthem sung by Jasmine Gade.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Jasmine. I think our junior ROTC is probably in the cafeteria, so I'm sure you guys can see them perform over there. Please be seated. So good evening, and thank you for being here. My name is Julie Oster, and I'm the principal of Queen Creek High School. And I am so excited to welcome all of you to incoming freshman parent night. This is actually my 20th year at Queen Creek High School. It's a long time. And next year, I'm going to have my second child actually come through Queen Creek High School. So it's safe to say that Queen Creek High School is one of my most favorite things to talk about. So this evening, we're going to highlight some of our programs. We're going to talk about registration. We're going to talk about the process, what these next few months are going to look like as you make this transition from junior high to high school. And as much as I love to talk about our programs and the opportunities that they afford our students, I actually have a guest speaker here this evening, and she's probably going to look familiar to a lot of you because her picture is on a huge banner that is posted in the front of our school. So she's probably going to look, she's kind of famous around here. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Jacqueline Caseta.
Hello, like Ms. Oster said, my name is Jackie Quesada and I am a senior here at Queen Creek High School. So when Ms. Oster asked me to speak, I started reflecting on my high school experience and I realized there were two things that I had and that I saw were a common thread. And one was my love for extracurriculars and CTE. So to let you guys know a little bit more about me, to tell you I am credible to speak on the subject of high school and how to make it through with having an amazing experience. I am a 4-year marketing and DECA member. I'm an international competitor. I'm an Arizona DECA state officer, and I will be attending the University of Arizona in the fall with a good chunk of my tuition paid, and I will be attending the Eller College of Management to get my bachelor's degree in business economics. So now that you know a little bit about me, thank you, and that I am qualified to tell you guys about high school and how to make it through, the first thing that I learned when reflecting is that it's important to get involved, whether that's an extracurricular, a CTE, a club, a sport. Just find something you're passionate about and run with it. I found that in DECA. So my freshman year, I signed up for marketing just because my parents are both very successful in business and I wanted to learn a little bit more about what they did, and the econ credit didn't hurt. So with that, I took marketing and I found my love for DECA. And in DECA, I found a passion for community service, which is actually my role right now on the state officer team. I do all the community outreach. So that one decision I made freshman year really impacted who I am today and what I love. So whether that's a sport, an extracurricular, find something you love to make those memories and look back on high school and say you did some really cool things. My second thing is your grades. Your grades are so important. And you may have upperclassmen or other people tell you freshman year does not matter. It matters, and so does every year after that. So the best you can do is just work hard. I've had some close calls, with missing assignments last minute, but just get it done and do it to the best of your ability, because I wouldn't be in the position I am today with my scholarship and being able to go to college if I hadn't thought ahead and knew that my freshman grades were going to matter. And it matters even if you don't want to go to college and you want to take another career path. Your grades do matter. So remember that. And if you keep good grades, you're eligible to do all the fun things that you're able to do through extracurriculars. So just put in that extra effort. You could come to school from 7:30 to 2:15 and make some good experiences and, have good memories with your friends at lunch or between passing periods. Or if you put in the little extra work, and it doesn't even feel like work because you're passionate about it, and stay after school, come during school, go on field trips, come before school, you'll make memories like going to Atlanta at 15 and walking around the city with some of your best friends, and knowing that every time you go into your CTE class, you're going to have a friend to sit next to and talk to. You're always going to have somebody at lunch. So those two things changed my life forever and led me on the path that I am now. So thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions about marketing, CTE, or DECA, which is really my expertise, I'll be at the booths later. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. We are so proud of her. So like I said, just to review what our goals are for tonight, we're going to highlight some of our programs. We are going to break down the registration process and show you and kind of demonstrate what these next few months are going to look like as you make this transition. And then the most fun part of this evening will be as you make your way to the cafeteria, where you can meet some of our coaches and our teachers so they can talk more about the programs that you might be interested in participating in, like marketing, like Jackie talked about. So in the Queen Creek Unified School District, we have 5 priority areas in our strategic plan, and tonight we're focused primarily on our student success priority. So I know that we're going to go through a lot of information here tonight, and none of us expect you guys to remember all of it, and that's okay. We did put a folder together. So if you have a junior high student, they should have come home with a folder like this yesterday. It's full of really good information. If you don't have a student at one of our Queen Creek junior highs, that's okay. We have extra folders in the lobby area. If you are paperless and you prefer that method, that's awesome. And we have a QR code available. And so if you scan here, you can actually download digital copies of everything that we have in that folder. In addition to everything in your folder, after this presentation, I am going to send an email out to everybody that just follows up of, some things that we talked about tonight, some of the registration materials, some of the key dates that you guys have to look forward to. And our course catalog, we have an elective video attachment on there. And at the end, if you are not a Queen Creek Junior High family, so I don't have your email address yet, that's okay. We actually have a bit.ly link that you can take a picture of or write down. And if you send me your contact information through that, I'd be happy to email that information out to you just to make sure everybody gets that if they want to have it. So if you have any questions as we're going through this, that's going to be totally understandable. If you write them down, we actually have our counseling department. They have a table set up in the cafeteria. And so they are available for questions right after this is over. But I would like to put faces with names as we talk about these counselors. And so I'm going to take a second to introduce our counseling department, which consists of 4 highly qualified counselors. We are broken up by last name. That's how we split up. And so if you have the last names A through D, your counselor will be Mr. Letty. He's right over there. If you raise your hand, Mr. Letty. Last names E through K, you are going to be with Mrs. Bird. And is she in the cafeteria? Yep, she's in the cafeteria. Last names L through P will be with Mr. Harmon, and he is actually out of the office until after spring break. And so in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can email Mrs. Rebold, who is our counseling department chair, and she is in charge of students with the last names Q through Z. In addition to our 4, thank you, Ms. Rebold. In addition to our 4 certified counselors, we actually have a school psychologist on site. Her name is Ms. Sylvester. We have a school psychologist, Mr. Siriani, and they are over in the cafeteria if you have any questions for them. And we have 3 college and career advisors who are here to support you. We have Mrs. Price, we have Mr. Peterson, and we have Mr. Alexander. And Mrs. Price is actually our college and career advisor, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the College and Career Center in a little bit. The next group of people I'd like to introduce you to is our amazing admin team here. So in addition to myself, we actually have Assistant Principal Katrina Groos, if you want to raise your hand over there. Next we have Assistant Principal Jen Ray. We have Assistant Principal Athletic Director Renee Rigoli. We have Assistant Principal Jim Richardson. And we have Dean of Students Tara Bernier. So throughout your time here, like Jackie said, get involved. Make the most out of your time here. I truly believe that we have something for everybody that comes to Queen Creek High School. We want you to investigate your natural abilities. We want you to sign up for challenging courses and participate in these clubs and athletic events. Do things that are going to drive you closer to whatever post-secondary goals you might have set for yourself. And these are goals that you have for after high school. We have a very competitive fine arts program. Our theater department recently put on the Almost Main production, and they are currently working on Newsies. And if you were here for Running with the Big Dogs, they did a skit for you guys, and they did a musical performance. Incredibly talented group of people. On top of that, we also, as you met Mr. Davenport this evening in the jazz band, we have junior Bailey Kane, who was recently recognized as one of the top 4 trombonists in the state of Arizona. And she is featured in an upcoming episode of Talk Soup with our superintendent, Dr. Barry, and that's available through the Queen Creek Unified School District social media account, so we'll be looking for that. In addition to our fine arts, we have our college or our career and technical education courses. We have a variety of courses, and depending on what course, we have internships and certifications that are actually associated with these and clinical placements, like in our Medical Professions 2 class. The students that are in our Med Professions 2 get to participate in clinicals at local hospitals, and they have the opportunity, they're qualified to sit for their state boards and take their CNA test by the time they graduate. It's pretty impressive. Not only do we boast a vast array of curricular offerings, we're home to some of the most competitive athletic programs in the state of Arizona. We are members of the Arizona Interscholastic Association and participate in the 6A Fiesta region. Queen Creek High School, just on our site here, we offer 24 athletic varsity programs in addition to esports and junior ROTC, which we are developing that program. We're going to have competitions through our junior ROTC that is associated with the AIA, and they're going to travel to and compete in different competitions with neighboring schools all around the state of Arizona. Now, as I mentioned before, our vision here, we would love to ensure that every single student is prepared for life after high school, so that post-secondary adventure. At Queen Creek High School, in order to help them do that, every single student, 9th through 12th grade, have full access to a college and career center that is run by a college and career specialist, Kara Price. And she is in charge of inviting guest speakers straight from the workforce, from college, financial advisors, to representatives from trade schools and universities all over the country. And she works with our students to make sure that we're maximizing the grants and scholarship opportunities. And just an example of this could be seen, last year's graduating class of 2020 took home close to $21 million worth of scholarships, which is very impressive for a class our size. At this time, I would like to welcome our Counseling Department Chair, Rachel Riebold, back up to the mic here, and she's going to talk about the graduation requirements, some of our programs, and the registration process.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I'm glad to see some familiar faces again. How many do we have coming from the Running with the Bulldogs? Are you guys here? A few of you? Good. I'm glad to see you guys back. Okay, go ahead on to the next slide. Well, those that were with us with Running with the Bulldogs, you guys have already seen this, but this is going to be more for your parents. So if you look on the left-hand side, you'll see what the requirements are for our graduation here at our high school. And then on the right-hand side, we'll show you the university requirements, just so that way you can see the comparison. One of the key things I do want to make sure that you guys are aware for our students to graduate, they will need 4 years of math, 4 years of English. You'll need 3 years of a science and a social studies, a PE credit, and then a fine art or a practical art. So our practical arts are actually our CTE courses, so they're interchangeable. And then you'll need 6 elective credits. So one of the things I do want to talk to you a little bit about, though, is that in the state of Arizona, a lot of our universities will either use a fine art or a practical art interchangeably if they are planning on going to school here. However, whenever we had Running with the Bulldogs, there were a lot of your kids that wanted to leave the state. So with that being said, if they choose to leave the state, please make sure that they are looking at taking a true fine art. So that would be like theater, music, anything along those lines to ensure that we have them set up for graduation. And granted, don't worry, we'll be talking with them a million times before they graduate. But that's one of those things when you're looking at registration to keep in mind, okay? World languages, they are not a requirement here for graduation. However, they are highly encouraged. One, because it makes you a little bit more marketable once you get out there in the real world. But two, it also helps you whenever you're going into the four-year university, they do require it. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this is kind of like how our year is broken down. We actually go by semesters. So we have our quarters that are in the semester, but really we look at semesters. So grades come out at semester. Our first semester runs from July to December, and then our second semester goes from January to May. So whenever a student is working with, let's just say they're in a class, whatever they earn is going to be throughout that whole entire semester. We don't take a quarter grade and then another quarter grade and average it out. It's actually cumulative to the whole entire semester. We get that question a few times, so I thought I would kind of clarify. The other thing is most students are going to be taking 6 class periods a day. So if you are potentially a seminary student, just know that you only have 5 class periods, 5 credit earning class periods. You'd still have 6 periods. So for those of you, the way that it's going to break down, if you can go on to the next slide, we'll kind of cover how this is going to look like on a transcript. So up here is an example of a transcript for one of our students. So if you see at the first semester, there's going to be a total of those 6 classes that a student will typically take. Now, they'll earn at least 3 credits for each semester. Now, if a student is a seminary student, just keep in mind that you will be deficient by 2 credits, so it's going to be really important that we either talk about a 0 hour or taking classes online or whatever the case may be. If you have questions about that, please stop by the counseling table out there. We'll gladly talk to you about it just to make sure that you're set up with graduation. Most students, if they take 6 classes each year, you're going to have a total of 24 credits by the time you graduate, okay? Go ahead on to the next slide. There's also a lot of great options for whenever your child is looking at graduation. We have our Scholastic Diploma, which is one of them. So those of you that are really involved in like STEM, the sciences, this is going to be something that's great. It helps with scholarships. It gives you extra merit. It's a lot of a good resource, and it kind of makes you a little bit more marketable when you're looking at the universities. So that one requires at least 24 credits. You need 2 years of a world language. You'll also need 4 science credits. Now, it is only required for 3 science credits for graduation, but for the Scholastic Diploma, you will need 4. And then the Career Research Project is something that all of our students do automatically in their senior English, so that's not to worry about that. The next is our honorary seals. So the Arts Proficiency Seal is something that actually just started last year. We have 2 new seals that are coming about. So we have the QC USD Service Learning Honorary of Excellence Seal. That one's brand new. And then the Arizona Seal of Bioliteracy. So in your packets that you received either today or out front, you should have a complete breakdown. So if any of those are something that you might want to consider or interested in, it actually gives you a full description right there in your packet. But of course, ask us questions if you have any. The registration process. So those of our students that are at the junior highs, you should have received all of your registration packets today. And if we have some students in here that are not with one of our junior highs, please make sure that you stop by out front so we can make sure you get one, okay? Registration process is going to be, so we have Queen Creek Junior High. I just keep wanting to say middle school. I'm sorry, guys. It's just like ingrained in me. We have you guys scheduled for the 8th, and then we have Noel Barney scheduled for the 9th. Whenever we come to your school, please make sure that those packets are filled out. So you guys have those packets now. Please take the time to look through all the electives, the core classes, look at our course catalog that's online, see what classes you really want to make sure that your child's registering for their freshman year, because whenever we come in that day, we're going to be registering them for their freshman year, okay? One of the other things that I do want to mention, though, quickly is if you are absent that day, that's okay. Please just give your registration forms either to your counselor at the junior high, or you can drop them off at the front office here, or email them to us, scan them and email them in to us. That's fine, too. So just know you have some options. When you are considering registering for your classes, you're going to see something. We have this that's also posted in our course catalog. This is the registration and career pathways. So if your child does know what they want to do after high school, and I know some of them are still exploring at that time, which is totally fine, but if you have a child that already knows that, say, they want to get into nursing, or they're really into graphic design, or something along those lines, this here just kind of gives you a flow chart of maybe some of the classes that they should be taking. Ms. Oster had mentioned about our CTE courses, which are amazing and great, but not only will our students graduate with a diploma, they can also graduate with a certification when they take our CTE courses. So they actually get 2 different things, and potentially qualify for one of the seals. So it's really nice to be able to have a lot of options whenever they graduate high school. And for those of you that are not interested in going to college right after high school, the nice thing is you have that certification and you can start working right away, okay? Next slide. 0 hour. So we have a lot of our students that sometimes want to do a 0 hour. Usually it's more of our upperclassmen just because of driving and that kind of thing. However, marching band also starts at 0 hour. So that is at 6:30 in the morning. Just know that we don't have transportation at that time. So it is going to be really important that you know that you'll have to drop them off, or they'll have to walk, or just kind of depending on where you live. Next slide. Honors classes. So we offer a ton of AP and dual enrollment classes here. The amazing thing about the AP courses is depending on how well they score when they take the AP exam, they can actually use that towards their college credit. Now, with our dual enrollment classes, our teachers are actually certified through the community college. So not only are they teaching like their class while they're here on campus, but they're also earning a dual enrollment, so they'll earn that college credit as well. So not only do they have the options, we have like our CT options, we have all these other options, but they can also earn college credits at the same time. So by the time they leave here, they should have a lot of different things already going on for them and make them be that much further ahead than maybe some of our other students. The other thing is, too, I want you to understand that AP and dual enrollment classes, they are more rigorous. They are like a college level classes. I would recommend, if you're going to take these kind of classes, make sure that you're taking them in things that you are interested in, things that you're passionate about. Because one thing is if we truly love what we're learning or what we're studying, it doesn't matter how hard or how rigorous it is, we're going to do it because we enjoy it and we love it, right? So one of those things is kind of take a look at those things. The other part of this is think about whenever you're taking these types of classes, they are going to make sure, because they are kind of college level, they are going to prepare you for the real world. So once you get out into college, you already have the tools, the resources, and you'll already be capable of already doing the work that is required of you. So next slide. Helpful tips. If you have any specific questions, our course catalog is available on our website. It's listed under counseling on our webpage. For those of you that are from one of our junior highs, you should have student view access. If you do not, please make sure you reach out to your counselors at the junior high to ensure that you do have that access, because our schedules are going to get released about a week before school begins, and that'll be a great place for you to find it. Those of you that are going to be new to us, once you start that registration process, you'll actually get your student view access at that time. Registration is going to close on February 16th because we got to start planning and seeing how many students are looking for what and kind of getting all of that stuff together. So it'll be really important that we have all of those forms in by that point. Again, if you are not available on the days that we do registration, please just make sure we get them at some point before that time. Next slide. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Oster.
Thank you, Rachel. As you guys become more familiar with Queen Creek High School, you're going to hear a term called Bulldogs Rising. It's a phrase that our student council came up with a couple years ago, and it's stuck with us, and we're continuing to build on what that stands for. And what they had said when they introduced it is this is a representation of not only maximizing our own potential as Bulldogs, to be our very best selves, but also to work together to raise everybody else up around us. So Robert Ingersoll once said, "We rise by lifting others," and I think of Bulldogs Rising every single time I see a Link Crew leader out on our campus, because this group of individuals, they give their time to make sure that all of our incoming freshmen have the very best freshman year they possibly can, and that starts from day one. And so this is a great group of people. I am so proud to call them Bulldogs. And at this time, I would like to welcome our Link Crew leader, Mr. Rick Payne, to the stage so he can talk a little bit more about our Link Crew. Maybe. Well, I don't know where Mr. Payne is, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Link Crew. You guys just mark your calendars. On July 14th, we are actually going to have a freshman orientation, and this is a critical piece. It's actually the Wednesday before school starts. And, oh, there's Mr. Payne right there. He's coming in. I almost did your job for you here. So what they're going to do is they are going to reach out to each of your freshmen, and they're going to personally invite them to this freshman orientation. And Mr. Payne's going to talk a little bit more about that right now.
Sorry, guys. I was out talking to kids, and they were picking on me already. That's what freshmen always do, right? So I'm Mr. Payne. I run a group on campus called Link Crew. And how many of you guys came to Running with the Big Dogs? Did you guys have fun? Yeah, it was a blast. This was a really good year. Hey, you guys are good parents because we had amazing kids this year, and we really appreciate that. So I'm sorry, I don't know how much you got into, but
Mark your calendars. They're going to call.
Yep. So, okay, cool. So July 14th is orientation, okay? Everybody's going to go, another orientation. Guess what? And I love Miss Reobold, but no counselors are coming to this one, okay? Yeah. So no more boring stuff, okay? And she knows that. She doesn't beat me up over it because we all, hey, this is all about making connection, okay? So the link leaders will reach out to you and invite you personally. So moms and dads, when you get a weird phone call from a kid that is reading from a script, don't say, why are you calling my kid? Okay? They do that, really. It's funny. We understand how protective you are because we see you guys walking your kids to school the first day, right? Holding them in hand. So it's okay because I had freshmen that went here too. I did the same thing. We're going to hold orientation that day. It's from 8 o'clock to noon in the gym, okay? It's a blast. What we're going to do is our link leaders are going to put you guys in groups that they will, we call that the crew, and you guys are going to be together for the entire freshman year. Okay, link leaders, their job are to be mentors to your freshmen, and they're going to do that the entire school year. They're mandated to reach out to every freshman on campus at least one time a week. Now, it doesn't always work because at some point the freshmen are going, I'm blocking you on social media, but they're going to make every attempt. Sometimes they are able to get your schedules, and they run you down and they bring candy to you, and they do a lot of fun things. We'll have activities unless we have another weird COVID year. We'll do activities with the freshmen and all kinds of things. But the point is, guys, Link crew isn't, and link leaders are not your normal juniors and seniors, okay? These guys have to apply for it. So these are the best of the best. And they're going to make sure that your freshmen are 100% taken care of. And so just a quick story, about 3 years ago, it might have been 4, we had a young lady, she was 13 at the time, and it was kind of funny because me and this little girl were talking about this story actually on Friday. She, after homecoming, went to kind of one of those wrong parties. And she didn't want to be there, so she called her mom. Her mom didn't answer. It was probably 11:30 at night, so she called Tony, her link leader. And she said, Tony, will you come and pick me up? I can't get a hold of my mom. I don't want to be at this place. I can't get anybody to take me home. So Tony got up, went and picked her up. They went to IHOP afterwards. Tony's getting ready to graduate from NAU. And this little girl is graduating from Queen Creek this year, and they're still best friends. And that's what Link Crew does. Because sometimes kids will talk to kids, and they don't like to talk to adults. So these kids are taught how to respond and how to help, and it's an amazing program. And so you're going to see some of these guys in here tonight. Please talk to them. They're going to give you a flyer, but I'm telling you guys, you're going to tell your kids are going to say, "Oh, it's boring. I don't want to go to another orientation." You will miss out if you miss it. It's a blast. So put it on your calendar. It's the Wednesday before we go back to school. So I know it's everybody's trying to get vacation in, but plan on being there. And if you guys have questions, I'm totally available. And we're going to have some more surprises for you coming up. So are you guys ready to be Bulldogs? Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. You guys are boring. I told you guys this last week. Boring. Okay. Are you guys ready to be Bulldogs? Okay. Wait a minute. Those guys over there, they're not ready to be Bulldogs. You guys ready to be Bulldogs? All right. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on it. Okay, because these guys are going to be absolute 100% Bulldogs before they leave here their freshman year. Thanks for coming, and we'll talk to you guys over there.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Like he mentioned, you guys, this group, kudos to you, parents, because this group of 8th graders, both days, from Queen Creek Junior High to Newell Barney Junior High, these groups of kids were the best I've seen in a long time. And so they were respectful, they participated, they were just amazing. And so I called both the principals, and I just, couldn't say enough good things about them. And we are so excited to have them join us as Bulldogs next year. So like I mentioned before, if your child does not currently attend one of our Queen Creek Junior Highs, we do have this bit.ly available, so take a picture or write it down. and you can actually fill out the form, and we will send you, we'll collect your personal information there, just your email address and your name, and that way it'll help us be able to get that information, those flyers, the stuff that's in the packet, out to all of you. Also, if you have any feedback for us, there is a question on here on ways we can make this night better than it is. This happens every single year, and we're always looking for ways to improve. So if you have any feedback, we'd love to hear that too. So at this time, I would like to thank you again for coming to Incoming Freshman Parent Night, and I would like to welcome you guys to start making your way over to the cafeteria so you can start exploring some of the courses that we have available. Thank you. All right. Good job, Jackie. Thank you again for being here.